Hello my lovely Pisceans, and a very warm welcome to your September 2020 horoscope. This is the midpoint in your year. September, Virgo time, the opposite sign to you. So we start out the month with a full moon in your sign Pisces on the 2nd of the month, joining Neptune here in your first house. So a full moon, it's shining a light here on you lovely Pisceans about what do I want, what do I need, what am I dreaming of, what do I need to release, what do I need to let go of. How has this last 6 months been? And goodness gracious, for most of us it's been pretty challenging. But now things coming to a head. What are you wanting for this next 6 months? What are you hoping for? What are you dreaming for? Not only for yourself, but also for humanity as a whole. Because we are moving to a very different dimension, so to speak, potentially. Now on the 6th of the month, we've got Mercury going into your 8th house. Mercury in the 8th is a wonderful time for doing a lot of research, for studying, for learning, for delving into anything metaphysical, anything to do with psychology, the working of the mind. And you might really dig up some very useful and powerful information at this time. On the 7th of the month, we've got Venus going into your 6th house of work, health and service. Venus in the 6th. This has to do with what can you do that you enjoy. If you're not doing work that you enjoy, Venus here is asking you, what would give you pleasure? What would you love to do? Because when you're doing what you love, you're uplifting, you're great to be around, you transmit a different energy field than when you're doing what you really don't care for very much. Venus in this 6th, good time really for doing anything that you enjoy as far as exercise and diet is concerned. Venus in the 6th, I have to say, often brings about a sweet tooth. You might be craving for sweet things. Just know that that Venus may well magnify it for a little while. And the big news this month is that on the 9th of this month until the 13th of November, that's just over a couple of months, Mars is going retrograde. Mars here in your 2nd house. Mars rules your desires, your passions, your drives, your actions. And when Mars goes retrograde, it's time to take your foot off the accelerator pedal. So just say, okay, I'm not going to push and start new things. I'm going to maybe resume something I was doing in the past, come back to it, revisit it. It's a good time for completing things that you've already started, but not for pushing ahead with new projects, at least not ideally. And if you do, often things get stuck and you get frustrated and angry and all those kinds of things that you don't really want to go through. Now, with it being retrograde in your 2nd house of money, you might be returning to certain talents that you had, that you know you'd like to explore again. You might start to explore them. And then when Mars goes direct, you might even create a business or generate some money from doing from exploring one of these talents further. You also might be re-evaluating your finances, how you're spending money, what you're doing with your money, and also re-evaluating what are my values, what's important to me now. The planet's changed. It's never going to go back to what it was. So now in the context of this new world, what do you want and what's important to you? That's a really big question and a good time to contemplate it while Mars is retro, so that you're just really rethinking things and rethinking your values. On the 17th of the month, we've got a new moon happening here in your 7th house of relationships. So you might have a new relationship come into your life. An existing relationship may have a big boost and rejuvenate itself. It's an opportunity for really creating some vitality, some energy in the area of relationships. And that can be business relationships or personal relationships, marriages, one-to-one kinds of relationships. On the 23rd, the Sun comes to join Mercury in the 8th house. So this is just shining a light on maybe some of the issues you've been avoiding, you've not wanted to face. It's a great time for releasing fears and traumas from the past and seeing them for what they are and letting go, because you know differently now. You know that you don't need to hang on to those things, and they're not serving you anyway. And on the 28th of the month, Mercury going into this 9th house, a wonderful time for studying, for writing, for sharing information, videos, podcasts, you name it. This is a wonderful time for taking your knowledge to a higher level, for finding more meaning, more purpose in your life. And we're going to need that as these months and years go on. So you may have some very inspirational ideas that you want to share. So there you have it, my lovely Pisceans. I want to thank so many of you who contribute to me on Patreon, on the live chat, for liking, commenting, sharing, subbing. Although these videos take a huge amount of energy and time, I so enjoy doing them and inviting you into my lounge and being here with me in